Well, howdy, howdy, hey, driving to work, and I'm, as you can see, I'm still Bruce Valanching it because I haven't found the clippers yet. But I didn't run over any of the little old ladies that just showed up next door, so that's a good thing. So without any further ado, I'd like to say, welcome to More Geek Than Gay. Howdy.
There's no need to fear. Underdog is here.
Walking, tiny, whiny stuff.
Okay, so, wait. Okay, hi, Edward here. More Geek Than Gay. Driving to work. Shouldn't be holding the camera while doing that, but, so, Betsy, if Mickey sees this, tell her that this is her uncle giving an example of what you should not do in a car. Ta-da! How was everyone's week? Hope everyone was having a great week. Mine was okay. I've decided, since the last time you saw me, which would be, probably for a lot of you guys, midnight on Saturday, right before the Doctor Who thing. And for some more of you, I guess, after the Doctor Who thing. So I cut it real close there. I know I did. But I can now I feel safe about talking about Doctor Who because it's Tuesday now, okay? You had the weekend to catch it if you DVR'd it. Yeah, if for some reason you decided, I can't see it yet, I need to see it in 3D on Monday at a movie theater. Well, that was yesterday. So you had a chance to do that. I can discuss whatever I want to. Zygons! Oh my god, Zygons! Who knew that those would work ever again? And we also got to see the little round Dumawajis of the walls of the TARDIS. Oh, I was as nostalgic as the doctors were. It was actually really good. It was, I would say, probably the best anniversary episode that has been done in the history of Doctor Who. And Moffat, I think it's also the best episode that they have done since Clara's come on. Actually, even before Clara came on, because it would be even since the end of Amy and Rory. I think it was the perfect balance between giving old-timers, kind of like me, something to watch and look out for, and people who are new and don't know any better, they weren't going to miss anything, okay? You didn't miss the story, you were able to go straight linear through it, and plenty of little tidbits for newbies, but lovely, lovely things for us old-timers. Brigadier Lethbridge Stewart's daughter as the unit liaison. Lovely. And then also, the very beginning of the episode was exactly the same as the very first episode. That is how people in 1960 got to see Doctor Who for the first time. They got that just weird TV screen and bizarre mood music. And that was, and then how it came in with the person walking, very similar again to the very first episode. Definite homage. The school that Clara taught at, that is the school that Susan was attending in the very first episode of Doctor Who. And that's where the two teachers that the first Doctor basically kidnapped came from. They went to follow her home one day because she was just a weird child, and they discovered her living in her grandfather's vehicle in a junkyard. And then he kidnapped them, and hilarity ensued sometimes. Just some really nice touches. The insertion of John Hurt as a doctor worked beautifully. It didn't feel like, oh crap, we can only get 2 doctors. It really felt like, oh okay, it felt more organic with just the 2 doctors and not so much of a loss. Loved Billie Piper in this. Loved her as the moment. Still hate Rose. Still hate Rose with a passion. But I love Billie Piper. Billie Piper is great anytime she plays something other than Rose. And that's not a fact that she doesn't play Rose well. That's just actually Rose is a horrible, horrible character. And I'm glad they decided to ignore the whole season finale when Rose disappeared over to the other dimension with the Earthling clone doctor, or whatever you want to call him. Just a great episode. I actually don't have any spoilers to give you so much. We got to see all 13 doctors. Oh, you heard me say 13 there. And if you watched, you know what I'm talking about. You got this great little cameo surprise of Capaldi, the new Doctor. When we thought there was only going to be 12, suddenly there's 13. It's like, oh shit. He scared me. And Eccleston, who had apparently been in talks with them about coming back, but just decided against it for, even for a cameo. They did give him a little bit more of a cameo. There was a speaking part, shall we say. So that was cool. I know I wrote notes about various things, such as, actually this is one I didn't write notes on, but we now know when the Doctor got married to Queen Elizabeth. So that was kind of cool, and why Queen Elizabeth viewed him as her mortal enemy. So that was kind of cool too. Got a little bit of completion on that. And I guess we're going to be getting Time Lords back. Gallifrey, the quest for Gallifrey is going to be the new thing, maybe? Not sure on that. Although we got Time Lords back once before, and Doctor 10 was Doctor 11, but Moffat says go ahead and keep the original numbering. So Doctor 10 worked really hard to get rid of those guys. So I don't know what to think about the whole idea of possibly the return of Gallifrey, because that was a bad thing before. Oh, a homeless man did an air blow of his nose. Oh. The things you get to see while you're driving on your way to work. Just a really lovely episode. And I think it'll work as a nice farewell also for Matt Smith. There's questions now about which number he is, because the thoughts were, oh, this makes him not 11 but 12, and Capaldi will be regenerating to 13, the last one. But Moffat says that Dr. David Tennant, actually used a regeneration during his run. So there was like 2 Dr. 10s. And this makes it to where Smith is actually the last of the 13th regeneration. Or the 13th life. 12 regenerations, 13 lives. I don't know. I'm still taking the Sarah Jane Chronicles as canon, and Matt Smith Doctor poo-pooed the whole 12 regenerations thing in an episode of that. And I'm also thinking that, since there's no Time Lords around, there's no one to have to share all that time energy with. Maybe he just gets extra lives. Maybe it's not an issue right now. The whole 12 might have been something that was imposed by the Time Lords just to make sure that there was enough time, chronal energy or whatever, to go around for all the rest of the Time Lords. And with them not around, take as many lives as you want. Wow, that person just pulled out in front of traffic, almost got hit by a car. So, also, if you get a chance, I would recommend watching the 5-ish Doctors, which featured the other Doctors, surviving Doctors. Peter Davison, Peter Davison, Sylvester McCoy, Colin Baker, and Paul McGann appears in it, and everything, trying to get into the special. They tried getting Tom Baker, but he was trapped in a time vortex again. So, and that is so cute of a little short. It was written by Peter Davison. It shows so many people. Us old-timers are going to get so much more out of it than the newbies, but there's plenty for newbies to watch also, such as the secret revelation that John Barrowman actually has you'll see. I recommend hunting that down. It's on the BBC proper website, BBC One, I believe. And you can only watch it there, apparently. I've been trying elsewhere. And I'm at work, so I gotta stop this for right now. Hey everybody, just got off work, but I gotta drive home, and I don't want to die because it's dark, so I'll catch you later. Well, howdy. Okay, so I am home, and as you can see, I've changed. Not appropriate for work anymore. I'm all pajamaed out. And see, sitting like this is probably what makes me look like Bruce Valanche, because my shoulders all disappear into my neck as I'm just like, ah. But, so I will try sitting elsewise. See, those of you who are catching this on the audio podcast, which I have to admit, I actually prefer the audio podcast. I never watch the podcast, but I just listen to it on my way to work and stuff. You guys get to miss out on all the stupid things like when my hair gets all puffy and my neck disappears and I start looking like the guy who writes funny jokes for Whoopi Goldberg but can't tell a funny joke to save his life. So, anyway, home, relaxing, yay. Last bit on Doctor Who for the moment. I did go and revisit the episode, or the storyline for the Peter Davison Doctor, the Caves of Androzani? I just watched it, and I still don't know what it's called. I now remember why it's a great episode. It is a fantastic episode. It is possibly one of the most maturely written episodes that you're going to see in any run of Doctor Who. There's a certain almost fatalistic inevitability in the storyline. The Doctor, it doesn't matter what he did, and he didn't even really do anything. He was just busy there trying to get his companion out of the situation, while everything else unfolded as it was going to unfold. It's a great story. The only problem I have with the story, really, is that there's kind of a mandate in Doctor Who that there has to be a monster in every episode. And so they inserted a monster for no reason. You lift that monster right out of there, it's still the perfect story. The only other problem with it is it's so good that it makes you very sad to see Peter Davison go at the end and be replaced by Colin Baker, who, I'm a defender of Colin Baker's Doctor, but at the same time, aw man, this was good Peter Davison. And see, when I shake like that, it shakes the camera. So I will hold it steady like this. Ha ha ha. I could probably hold it steady somewhere else, or put it somewhere, and then it would just stay steady. Like, hey, look at this. See, this is the cleverness of recording at home. Let's see here. See, I think you can see me. I might just have to take like a wild guess that you're able to see me. Let me pop that up just a little bit higher. And ta-da! Everything should be good there. Let me make sure it's still recording. Still recording! Yay! But, if you do get a chance, definitely see the Peter Davison story, Caves of Androzani. Just such a great story. It's not your typical Doctor Who story. It's very... There's depth to it. It's very subtle. It's very adult. I picture if you're looking for shoot 'em up Star Wars, you're gonna be so bored. If you're under the age of 13, you're gonna be so bored. If you're looking for like big rollicking adventures, you're gonna be so bored. But if you want something intelligent that you can watch over and over again and catch other little bits to, it's a great episode. It's nuanced. There's just so many things you can take apart in this episode. So that is Doctor Who talk for today. Who knows? We might be talking. I said who knows. Who knows? Oh yes. Maybe talking about it again in the future soon. I don't know. I'm a crazy man. I'm wild. I don't know what I'll do the next minute. I might go, hi kitty. Hi kitty, kitty, kitty. What do you got in your mouth? What are you eating? Do not eat that. Guy. Okay. So, as you know, we had to move. Lost the house. Now living in this nice little townhouse. Oh, hi kitty. And as we moved, we discovered things. I discovered so many family pictures that I didn't know I had that I need to get scanned so that I can share them. And a wonderful person gave me his old scanner. Unfortunately, I can't get a driver on my computer to read the scanner. I've tried going to Hewlett-Packard's website, and it updates and updates, and it just still won't read the scanner. So, I still need to try to figure out some way to like scan this so I can start uploading and embarrassing myself with mini pictures from high school and previous haircuts. But along the way, also discovered other things, books, and I refound. I think I've stated before how much I enjoy game systems. Now, I don't mean game systems as in gaming consoles, because this is basically as good as I get, okay? Moving my thumbs around, and, you know, that's going good with the Wii, because I can flail with the best of them, but you get me, like, doing A, B, X, 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 Y, back, forth, I have no idea. Okay, that stuff, that's just some other language, and I will never get it. No, when I say gaming systems, I mean games that aren't really a game in and of themselves. Monopoly, it's just a game. It has very specific rules. It is the game Monopoly. Settlers of Catan. It's a game. One of my all-time favorite games, Cosmic Encounters. It's a game. A deck of cards, it's just a tool. You have to come up with a game. Poker, or pinochle, or blackjack, solitaire. There's many. That's the bird who's supposed to be asleep. That's what you just heard there. But you have to come up with games. Dominoes, the same thing. Dice. I really like game systems because once you have one, you have the tools to play a whole bunch of different games and also to like develop other games. Now, whether anyone's going to develop other games for them is another story. A beautiful game system that I believe it was Milton Bradley came up with called Orion. It's a beautiful game system. You didn't really get anything more than the 12 games that they published with it. Sadly, it just disappeared in the 70s. And it's just truly a shame. That's all I have to say there. And later when I dig out the Orion, I'll show it to you and you'll see. It's just a beautiful game system. But I did find one that I thought I had lost. And that is my Icehouse pyramids. Icehouse pyramids are basically these little pyramids, that little four-sided pyramids. They come in different colors, and they nest into each other, and they'll nest into three. So you'll have the smallest piece that fits inside the middle-sized piece that fits inside the largest piece. And using those properties, and they'll also stack. So you can stack the smallest piece on top of the middle-sized piece or the tallest piece, making like a tree, or you can nest them, making just a pyramid. The beautiful thing about these is that they're directionable. As I said, they're nesting or stacking for trees. They have their value. You can come up with a value for them. On them they have little 1s, 2s, or 3s put on them, but there are people who use them for scoring purposes in poker and stuff. The versatility for these things is amazing. You can do just simple traditional games with them if you wanted to, but you can also use the qualities of the pieces themselves, such as the nesting quality, the directional quality of them. They originally called them Icehouse pieces, Icehouse pyramids, based on what they considered to be kind of the key game to their set, Icehouse. They put out a book, Playing with Pyramids or something like that. They came up with, this basic set only came with 4 different colors, but they came up with many different colors, and I think I have 9 different colors. There's another one I want to get. I want to get the pink set. But they also came up with a teal set that I can't find anymore because they've changed things. But more on that in just a second. So they did this Icehouse, and it comes with a couple booklets, and then they came up with a book, Playing with Pyramids. Then they came out with another game that they considered to be their new core game because people were loving it so much, I think it's called Treehouse. And then they started being called Treehouse pieces instead of Icehouse pieces. Well, now they decided to name them after, and once they started let me back up just a little bit. Once they decided to do the Treehouse pieces and sell them as Treehouse, you no longer got a full set of these pieces. A full set was 5 sets of 3 of a color. Okay? The sets of 3, they nest inside each other, and then there'll be 5 of those, so you'd have a total of 15 pieces. 5 small, 5 medium, 5 large. Different games require different numbers of sets and stuff like that. Once they did this treehouse thing, they got rid of that, and you'd get these weird mix sets. I don't remember what the mix was, but none of them were complete sets. It was the pieces that you needed to do treehouse, and if you wanted to get a full set, you'd have to buy multiples of those. But that's okay, because they also came up with games that fit the treehouse set. Okay, so it depended on if you viewed them as Icehouse sets or treehouse sets. That's fine. The guy who developed them is Andrew Looney. The company's Looney Labs. They do a game that so many people like called Flux. And they've decided there are no longer Icehouse pyramids, there are no longer, or pieces, there are no longer treehouse pyramids or pieces. They are Looney pyramids. And I just have news for them. That is the stupidest of the three names they could give it. Okay, I get the fact that you're giving credit to the guy who developed them. Still a stupid ass name. And they came up with a new set of games or a new game book for them. You can order it online, but they also do have it as a printable PDF that's in color. And it comes with the pieces, the extra boards that you would need. The only complaint I have is that when they did it this way, they've definitely remarketed it so that there's certain things that you'd have to get, like, if you had bought this box of Icehouse pieces, it had 4 sets, 4 full sets. You could play pretty much anything they had. There was nothing that you couldn't play. You would be able to play pretty much anything that's in here. But now that they've broken up how they sell them and how they batch them, they've come up with these games that require you to have multiple sets. I don't know. I'm not a fan of that. I'm really glad that I bought mine when I did, because you can't buy the single color tubes and just build a set. You would have to buy full treehouse sets and just keep on building off that. But that's not me saying there's anything bad with it. And maybe if I looked much more carefully, I would see that really it's not any different than how you had to build a set before. I just happened to come in, or actually my ex bought it for me for Christmas, and get the set that was the magic set that just had everything in it. I don't know. All I can say is I had misplaced that for a long time. I thought they were gone. I thought I was going to have to try to figure out how to get them again. I don't. I got them right there. I can start playing with them again. Now I just need to find friends. Huh. So that's kind of my little gaming moment here. Archie and I, Joseph's still been sick. We're finally getting him his medications and everything. All the insurance stuff is starting to finally get straightened out. So he's going to start taking his medications, and he should be getting well enough soon that he can start joining in on this. But Joseph, we had all watched the Doctor Who thing. Joseph got worn out. He took a nap. Archie and I watched Almost Human. We watched the first 2 episodes of it. I have to say, very, very good. It's kind of like the early TV show that you may have heard of called the Questor Files, which was developed by Gene Roddenberry, which involved a robot android living amongst humans and kind of finding his way. Here, it's a society with a bunch of androids, all programmed with different levels of understanding of emotions. And it's already by the 2nd episode, we're starting to develop this whole idea of 2 different classes, and one of the classes, it's not just a case of not just the robots are trying to become non-servants, they're trying to become, some of them are finally distinguishing themselves as themselves and realizing to not be servants, possibly. To be more than just servants, let's put it that way. It's only 2 episodes in. I don't know really how deep they're going to get into it, but it's really good so far. Very much impressed. The hooker bot didn't have the same level of understanding as our main character robot, which it basically, in the future, there's so much crime that they have introduced these androids, as all police have to work with an android, and therefore we cut back on the loss of human life, and also the androids are more efficient in many ways. They came up with a series of these androids that they gave many sympathetic and empathetic qualities to, but they found them to be less predictable, so they decommissioned them. And they came up with the next model that was much more cut and dry and analytic in nature. So this guy ends up with a partner who they find one of the old decommissioned ones, and that ends up being his current robot partner. So we have one that has an understanding of emotions. He responds in a way that seems emotional. He's able to read people emotionally. And we're finding out that there's different layers to the synthetic society. They're all clearly thought of as just tools. But, like the hooker bots, they're given a certain set of emotional or sympathetic protocols so that they're more responsive to their clients. But not necessarily so they're more understanding of, so that they have their own responses per se. It's all responses to someone else. It's a reaction, there we go, not necessarily their own actions emotionally. And you still get to see the hooker bot kind of figuring out that maybe she has more than just that level. But she just doesn't have the tools to get any further with it, as compared to our main hero robot, or android, who does have the full set of tools and is starting to develop it all. He had been decommissioned, so we don't even know how far he got in developing all those before. I don't know. It's going to be, I think it's going to be very interesting. The only thing that got me was how they commented on how by the time the series starts, it's about like maybe 25 years in the future or whatever, and by this time in many cities the crime rate has gone up 500 or 400%, and that's why they've done this. I have never seen so many people living in high crime rate cities who just nonchalantly walk around, leaving the car unlocked and their kid in the car, and just la 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 la. I'm like going, oh my god, you're kind of, I mean, you're living in a Judge Dredd or RoboCop society. You'd think you'd be a little bit more aware of the potential for being a victim. Because every time someone does that, they're a victim. Ta-da! And all the criminals seem to be Russian mafia. So far. It's 2 episodes. So who knows? Who knows? I just found it interesting that it seems to be very much Russian mafia at this moment. I think I'm going to leave it at that for right now. Again, these are not going to be full episodes. This is going to be episode B. B as in boy. I want to thank everybody for sticking around with us. And keep it up. We're gonna, like I said, we're aiming for the full relaunch on December 3rd. And if this ends up being the way it works, this ends up being the way it works. Because I still cannot find that box of tech stuff. Who knew that would be so hard to find? Okay? Trust me, I will be going through stuff all the time, so I will definitely find more for us to be discussing and talking about. Please leave comments, even though we're kind of on a weird, not hiatus, I guess it's kind of like a bridge. Feel free to leave comments. I'm more than happy to respond to them. If you get a chance, tell your friends. Let's start building this up. I would like us to be a force to be reckoned with next year. Okay? We're going to build this stuff up. Maybe even find a sponsor or two. Oh, yeah. Also, 5-star ratings, you have no idea how much that boosts us up and makes it possible for us to build everything up in the show. Okay? 5-star ratings on iTunes means that we suddenly get a bigger viewership because we get bumped up a little bit in their rankings. And then more people who view us, the more people we can get. It becomes like this little little vicious cycle. Think, woey, woey, think. Before you know it, you are impudent. Except for this time, before you know it, you are a big-ass podcast. So, tell your friends, give us 5-star ratings, leave comments. We love comments. Ask questions. I'm more than willing to answer questions. If you have requests of something that you would like us to discuss, I am more happy. And I know that the last couple times you're seeing just me, and I'm still referring to us. That's because it is still an us. Karen is still out there. We're going to get Karen back into this. Joseph is there. We're going to get Joseph back into this. It's just right now, I'm the one who's pumping this out because I'm the one who has the spare time. How do I have spare time? I don't have any spare time. What the Anyway, by the way, also, if you do see yourself having a moment to leave a comment, wish my niece Mickey a happy birthday. Yeah, I bet you thought I forgot Mickey. I didn't. Happy birthday, world's worst uncle. And for those of you who, I'm finding out that we have like actually somewhat of a strong, strongish listenership in Australia. Howdy. I don't know how to speak Australian other than hi. And also in China. So ni hao ma. That's pretty much all I got. That's pretty much all I got. I got like a couple other things. I can like point at stuff and like go wo yao. You know, wo yao chur fun. So I won't starve to death. But that's about it. I will catch you again in the near future. Possibly I'm aiming for hopefully Friday. I'm hoping for another one post-Thanksgiving. Oh yeah, happy Thanksgiving and happy Hanukkah. And if you're one of those who's doing the whole mix thing, happy Thanks Hanukkah or Hanukkah giving or whatever they're calling it. So until next time, this is Edward, who didn't introduce himself in the intro, saying, well, thank you for watching More Geek Than Gay or listening to More Geek Than Gay, and we are out of here for now. That's not how I should close things. I need to find a better close. I'm just saying.